Hi, this is Kamera. My first few minutes with God. Day number 186, 2 Kings chapter 12 through 13, 2 Chronicles chapter 24. Joash, he was 7 years old when he became king of Judah. He reigned for 40 years and he did what was pleasing in the sight of God during the lifetime of Jehoiada, the high priest. Yeah, he ordered Israelites to follow Moses' command with the annual tax offering, and he used that as some sort of building fund to restore the temple of God. And they did do it. They did complete it. At first, they did not until he had to seek Jehoiada to push the issue. And so they came up with a way to have I would say, offering box, but it was a treasure, a chest outside of the temple of God, where people would come from all over, and they would give and place their monies into that chest. So there's like an offering building fund. I always call it building fund with the offering box. And they did it. They completed that the temple of the Lord to its original design and strength. And the remaining funds, they had certain articles of God for worship. They had restored those, made those. Yeah, so that was pretty interesting. Jehoiada the priest, he died at 130 years old, and he was buried amongst the kings of Judah, because he did all good in the sight of God for Israel and for the temple of God. But get this, once Jehoiada died, yeah, Joash, he was influenced by the leaders of Judah, and they basically had him to abandon the temple of God and worship Asherah pole and idols. God was angry about that, and he sent prophets to warn them, and they would not listen. They refused to listen. His spirit fell on Jehoiada's son, Zechariah, and yeah, that didn't turn out well. He actually, the leaders, they plotted against him. But get this, Joash, the baby who Jehoiada raised and hid out, he had Jehoiada's son stoned to death. That's the way he repaid Jehoiada for everything Jehoiada did for him. Isn't that terrible? Yeah. So God allowed the Arameans to go against Judah and Jerusalem. And yeah, with his help, they had a small army against big old Judah, and they still defeated them. They killed the leaders of Israel, and they left Joash wounded. His own officials plotted against him and assassinated him for murdering Jehoiada's son. Yeah. So during this time of his reign, you had Jehu's son, Jehoahaz. He began ruling the 23rd year of King Joash's reign in Judah. He reigned for 17 years, but he did what was evil in the sight of God. And he did the same things that Jeroboam had done. So you had King Hazael of Aram. Him and his son Ben-Hadad, they defeated them repeatedly. They defeated Israel repeatedly. Jehoahaz eventually, he prayed to God for help. And so God, he provided some rescue, but the children of Israel, they would not turn from their sin. They continued their sins, following the example of Jeroboam. So Jehoash, he succeeded his father, king of Israel. This was the 37th year of the King Joash's reign in Judah. And he followed the example of Jeroboam as well. Joash, he actually, Jehoash, of Israel, he actually visited Elisha when he was sick, and he actually wept over Elisha. But Elisha gave him a final prophecy and told him how he was going to defeat Arameans for at least three times. But if he would have done what Elisha had hoped he had done, he would have beaten them for good. But he didn't. So he's going to beat him 3 times. They're going to beat him 3 times. Elisha, he dies, and he was buried. How about there were these raiders who would they would just do bad. Anyway, in their haste, they threw a dead man into the tomb with Elisha, where Elisha was buried, and the man's body, it touched Elisha's bones, and it revived this man. This man became alive again, and he just jumped up and he just fled. Isn't that something? So the dead man was revived. He jumped and he fled. That's where we have it now. So Elisha is now dead. Isn't that something? And there you have it, guys. That's day number 186. 2 Kings chapter 12 and 13. 2 Chronicles chapter 24. You have a God-filled blessed day.